Hello and welcome to Living as Is. And I'm Shah. We may wander around in life looking for a life. We may wander through mind and how we are within, depending on family, growth and love, depending on paths chosen and paths refused. All may open and broaden in growth, or may close and deepen into darkness. Your truth will find voice, find expression. Your truth, as they say, will out. There are some things in life you can't change straight away. Actually, there are many things in life you'll never be able to change straight away, and many things you'll never be able to change at all. I'm neurodivergent. This is most definitely one of those things that will never be changed. And learning about life hasn't been straightforward. As a neurodivergent, this mind of mine, it sees the world differently. One of the major things about this life is the way it's been designed, where it works for neurotypicals. I ummed and ahed over saying that because I think it's a mistake to say that. See, this world was designed the way it was because it was. Later in the video, I'm going to reference something around Prussia and schooling, and that'll explain what I mean by that. The main reasons I would place for learning being the way it is, it's basically like a corporation setting up insurance. How many would be hurt, and how much would we pay out in any issue? Okay, that's a good amount. We'll pay that out with the least amount being paid out to make things safe, to make things safe. So that's what we're going to do. That's how we do it. If you have the majority seeing one way and very few being even known to see it another way, you're going with the many. That's the general view. You'll go with the many. Also, I'm not jumping on a soapbox here and attempting to change the way schooling is set up. I don't see that as even working from my standpoint. That is me jumping up on a soapbox and demanding that the way schooling is changed. I don't see that working for me. But if someone wants a name added to a petition, I'm here. I'll do that. No. The point firmly placed around the way mind works and the way it has, in many ways, being taught to work and is being taught to work. All of this I've kind of had to come to understand for myself in research, study, listening closely to teachers, then taking this information, pondering over it, mulling over it, testing my gains on friends, going over thoughts with more friends, until finally expressing in blogs, poems, and here now. It's the amount of self-understanding and self-awareness that's gone into my life, assessing each event, opening to each event, and then dive back in to do it all over again. The way information has been presented for myself to learn, it it never came across as something I could really understand. I'm an imaginative thinker. I like to see things. I'll take on board information, mix it with other information that's being presented, and see how it runs together. On top of this, I'm very sensitive, and I'll use my feelings to feel if something is a fit or not. If these feelings come back and say not, then I need to know why not. It just sits there with me, and I want to know why not. So, as a neurodivergent, I'm almost constantly checking and double checking, feeling, listening, observing, and taking things apart. Now, regardless of whether you are a neurodivergent or neurotypical, this aspect of mind, I do believe, will work in the same way. The only way it differs, once the information has been taken in. Let's look at a scenario. Baby growing, searching, looking, watching expressions of its parents, watching those closest to it. At some stage, there's a move from a basic, how do I get food, onto more complex manipulations for attention. Basics to being a baby. I bet some of you never thought a baby could have such a control over the programming of your mind, let alone your life. And that's you as a baby having so much control over the way you developed in life. As you move into the more complex life scenarios, the tactics, baby to family, change and alter, continuing on into life, the testing things, changing, adjusting, testing again, making another adjustment. This happens a lot. A neurotypical will they'll find this as easy or as hard as their mind is able to translate. A neurodivergent will find it complex all the time. Unless, of course, one of their parents is a neurodivergent. At this point, there might be some correlation for the mind of the child to make. Throughout life, there's a constant taking on board of parents' meanings and actions, a translating into your own thoughts and actions, a choosing of which aspects to be or not to be. Even if the neurodivergent is finding it difficult to understand, the basic level is mind attempting to translate the world around it, a basic ABC of mind growing, expanding, and becoming. One of the most base instinctive aspects of mind is self-preservation. If in any way mind thinks, feels, or it comes into any kind of conclusion, it's under threat. It wants out. It wants to protect itself. Here's a funny thing, and this for me is like a perler for the way mind acts. The other day, I decided I wanted to pop out, so I went upstairs. I got changed. Come back downstairs, and I have these two glass doors, double doors, in between my kitchen and my front room. I put a curtain over them, and the curtain is pitch black. It's a blackout curtain. It's pitch black. So I've got changed. I've come downstairs. I open up the door, and I step forward, and my body it just froze on the spot. My body didn't want to move. It just froze in that split second. Then in the next moment, self-awareness it kicks in, opens the mind to the entire scenario that took place, and I just burst out laughing. So let's go back. I open up the door. I open up the door to the kitchen. I open up the door of the kitchen, sorry, and I step forward. This mind completely forgets for a second there's a curtain. And mind pulls all the triggers on the body, and it freezes the body to protect from walking into a wall. Yep. Mind interpreted the blackness as a wall, and it switched off my body. It switched it off to prevent me from walking into this wall that wasn't even there. And this is so amazing how that's done on autopilot, like so many other things are done on autopilot, where the mind has learnt these things. And in this instance, awareness kicks in, unfreezes the body. I open the curtain, walk forward, and I'm laughing my head off. Mind will take over if it feels necessary to protect itself. And this is not a thinking mind in respect it analyzed, oh yeah, I can freeze the body. No, it's an instinctive mind that works on perceived threats. One massive threat could be change. Yep. Poor, innocent change can be perceived as a threat to the life and safety of mind. One of the things mind can do, and this is something I've observed within myself, mind can copy instincts, and so it takes instincts from over here, it sees how they work and how they function, and it takes those instincts and presents a set of feelings and sensations as there are certain events taking place. And it presents it as instincts and feelings talking to you. I noticed this because the mental direction I wish to move in seemed to be changing. The direction seemed to be altering itself, and it was changing from the chosen direction I wished for. Now, in sitting back and really going into the feelings being presented, it was realized there was a sense of falseness to the feelings. In going deeper, it started to become clear these were not my instinctive feelings, not the ones I'd been listening to for years. They'd been created within my body by mind. Mind was silently objecting to the changes I was taking on. This was unknown territory to mind. So, just a moment. Earlier, I mentioned I would talk about Prussia and schooling. Well, here we are. In the late 1800s to early 1900s, this is in Prussia, a schooling system was created. This system became so incredibly successful, other parts of the world took it on. America and the UK being two of those countries. Now, stepping back to my earlier comments, this schooling setup knew nothing of autism at the time. Therefore, it was set up for the people, not any understanding of differences. One thing that happened within this schooling system, the authorities responsible for setting up this system within their respective countries, they saw how this system could be adapted to create not only children that would become adults and would think in similar ways, but would be loyal to their country, which in turn led to systems creating millions of people that thought the same way, acted the same way, effectively became copies of what the system wanted. However, this didn't work for everyone. Neurodivergents are unable to work within these systems, as the mind of a neurodivergent sees the world from a different perspective than the one set up over the years. We are not living in a world with millions of individuals thinking for themselves. We are living in a world with millions of individuals trained from childhood to think in set patterns and react in similar ways. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there haven't been individuals creating the world. I mean, Craig, oh, come on. Aristotle, Shakespeare, Einstein, so many thinkers, philosophies, scientists, individuals creating art, poetry, writing plays, designing buildings. So many people capable of thinking outside the box. In fact, probably spending their entire lives outside the box. Life is quite the place. we can grow up instinctive, and we follow those around us in a way that's a programming. And then we have the schooling system arranged to have everybody thinking the same way. Again, it is a type of programming. So you can say, on one hand, life programs us, but does it really? So right there, I'm going to stop. We are at the end of part 1. Thank you for listening to the end. And come on, get clicking. What are you waiting for? Click like, subscribe, and then go all out for the notify. Come on. Click like and subscribe. Thank you once again. Blessings to you all. And I will see you soon in part 2. That is, if you choose to continue. Thank you once again.